Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is Munib Ali. I'm doing a number of short videos trying to explain the techniques for studying and understanding the Qur'an, God's book. I'm doing these videos because number one, a lot of our viewers have asked me to describe how I study the Qur'an, and secondly because most of us, whilst we are taught how to recite the Qur'an, the reality is we are not taught the techniques for studying and understanding the Qur'an. And therefore we end up relying on other people to explain it to us, to explain God's words and instructions to us. So I've already posted one video a few days ago in which I described some techniques for studying the Qur'an, and I demonstrated it by applying it to one specific verse. If you haven't had a chance to have a look at that video, please do go over to our YouTube channel and take a look. In today's video, I will explain some of the principles that God Himself has given to us in the Qur'an. You see, the magnificent thing about this is that Allah Himself explains to us in the Qur'an how to study the book. So I will go through some of those principles in today's video. So, let's have a look at some of these key principles when studying the Qur'an. Now, some of these relate to our understanding of the Qur'an itself. We have to know when studying the Qur'an that number one, that the Qur'an is the criteria for right and wrong, the truth and falsehood. It is Al-Furqan. The Qur'an is the criteria, no person and no other literature. Secondly, that the Qur'an is fully detailed. It gives us the details for everything, and therefore we have to seek the detail of guidance and instructions within the Qur'an itself, not outside. Thirdly, that the Qur'an is the best tafsir, the best explanation of itself. It provides its own explanation. There's a fourth one, which is that the Qur'an is clear. It makes things distinct. It clarifies things. It does not form complexity. It's simple. And Allah tells us that the Qur'an contains no contradictions. Now, all of these are stated by God in the Qur'an itself. I'm not making these up. And I have given you the references from the Qur'an here on this sheet. So, what I would like you to do is, in your own time, go back and look at these references. Please do not think, well, Munib has put this up on the Qur'an study channel, so it must be true. I really want you to go and have a look at these, just like I did. And the second part of this is, okay, other than understanding some particulars and characteristics of the Qur'an, God actually tells us about how to study the Qur'an. How amazing is that? God tells us that when we are studying the Qur'an, we should not rush to conclusions. We should take our time. We should study all the related verses which are about a particular topic that we are looking at. And once we have looked at and understood all those verses and the context of those verses, then we will see the answer. We will see the criteria. Allah is telling us this. Secondly, we must have a pure, clear mind. What God is telling us is that when we study the Qur'an, we should not carry with us any preconceived notions or ideas or conclusions. We should not think, well, this is what we have read somewhere else. Now let's see how the Qur'an verifies or validates this. We should not think this is what our forefathers told us or what our Imam has told us, and then try and understand the Qur'an in that context. When we are studying the Qur'an, we must wipe out all preconceived ideas. And once we do that, we start to see the truth. We start to see the simplicity of God's commandments. We start to see the principles of God's message. And it all starts to fit together like a beautiful jigsaw. And if we do not do that, if we bring preconceived ideas, and if we try and ratify those ideas through the Qur'an, we will never understand the Qur'an. Then when we do our translations, we're going to put things in brackets. like beat lightly. We're going to start putting lightly after beat because we're going to say, well, we have to somehow make this make sense and sensible. So let's try and add things in to make it work. No, Allah is telling us we have to wipe out all preconceived ideas if we truly want to understand the Qur'an and obtain the truth. God also tells us in the Qur'an that when studying the Qur'an, we have to evaluate and ponder. We have to use our minds. We have to understand what Allah is trying to tell us. We have to reflect. We have to understand the rationale behind a commandment and see if it's making sense to us. Because the Qur'an will never contradict itself. All of its messages come together in perfect harmony and give us the truth. And if we are looking at other people's understanding of the Qur'an and other notions and other ideas, we have to critically evaluate those ideas. But using the Qur'an as the touchstone, as the only truth, as the criteria for right and wrong, as the best explanation, the best tafsir. This is how we study the Qur'an. This is how I study the Qur'an, and this is how I'm encouraging our viewers to study the Qur'an. Don't forget, we are putting up videos about the Qur'an every week. And we really value your comments. We very much value you sharing our materials with others as well. I hope today's session was useful. Until next week, Assalamu alaikum.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن